Greetings, my fellow descendants. It's your boy right here, K-Pro, and I'm back with yet another interesting tutorial. The baddest boy from SCI Masters, the baddest tutor in English currently right now, right? So please do me a favor, and just follow. That's the only way you can repay us for what we're doing. You understand? Just go to Facebook, follow us at SCI Masters, and then go to Instagram. It's SCI Masters _ZA. You'll see with the logo. Then follow us on TikTok as well, which is SCI Masters _ZA as well. Because there's also going to be tutorials that are dropping on that TikTok channel as well for those that are TikTok lovers. Alright guys, I'm back. We're we're rolling. I decided to do comprehension part 2. You understand what I'm saying? Because I just felt like there's more knowledge that I have to add to that video. You understand that I omitted, or let me just say that I was withholding. But this time you guys are very, very lucky. There is no form of information that I'm actually withholding right now. I'm just giving you everything. So buckle up, because this tutorial is going to be very, very, very long, but insightful and beneficial. I know that there's teachers that are watching this. I know that there's learners that are upgrading, there's matriculants that are watching this. I'm doing this for you guys. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you very much for the subscribers. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you to the learners that usually contact us and ask to be tutored and all of that, because you guys are actually helping us to even keep going. You understand? And please do talk to me, guys. Talk to me, drop comments. Let's talk, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Let's talk, guys. Let's talk to each other. You know, because these comments that you guys are dropping, they actually motivate me to go to keep going. Actually, do you understand what I'm saying? Because when I drop a video and there's no comments, I just feel like this video was irrelevant or something, or the learners don't actually understand what I'm saying. But when I see comments, you know, I get that feeling that okay, at least somebody, you know, it got to somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying? So drop those comments. Please like the video, drop the comments, and subscribe. And then don't be stingy with information. You know, Mos. If you're watching K-Pro's tutorials, then you should also tell your friend, no, show me, man, I watched this tutorial. Don't get a distinction alone, because this video is going to help you get a distinction. But don't get a distinction alone. Yeah. Share knowledge, guys. As much as I'm sharing knowledge that teachers will never give you at school, do the same for others out there. Right? Cool. Let's get to it. Let's get rolling. Indaba yama-cross nights okhuluma ngayo ekugcineni kwevideo. Okwamanje, let's get to business. Right? Okay, right. English comprehension part 2. Alright, guys. Why did I do part 2? I just said that I felt like there's certain information that I omitted, that I had to add. You understand? So each and every class, each and every year, I'll be just adding to the comprehension, right? Last year, they got their video. It made them get whatever mark that they got. So this year, I'm also adding more information, which means this class must perform better than the 2022 class. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because K-Pro is forever doing research. K-Pro is forever tapping into skills and ways of making sure that people get better marks in class. Right? All right. So English HL Comprehension, please have a pen and paper. You are in class, please have a pen and paper. Yeah? In your pen and paper, or a pen and a book, right? Right. What's going to happen, guys? I have a very, very bad handwriting. I say this before each and every tutorial, so don't mind my handwriting. Whenever you listen to what I'm going to say, right? It's going to help you to actually capture what I'm saying. All right. Sharp. Now listen up. In English comprehension, I'm going to start everything from the beginning, right? English comprehension. Let's talk about comprehension. Remove the word English, right? We know that it's an English thing, right? So we're going to say comprehension. I'm not going to write all of it. I'm going to say CMP to save time, right? Nobody wants to watch a 3-hour tutorial video, right? I wouldn't do that as well, right? CMP. All right. So now listen to me. Comprehension, right? What is comprehension? First of all, we have to first understand what is comprehension, right? So comprehension, right? Sorry that I'm slow. Comprehension means, okay, the word comprehension comes from the word comprehend, right? Comprehend. The word comprehension comes from the word comprehend. Are we making sense? So in this tutorial, guys, I'll be using a paper, English paper 1 November 2015. Don't think that I did revisions on it, or I've done it before, but I did it while I was still at school, so The last time I saw it was 2 years ago, right? I'll be using it to make sure that you actually indulge in the lesson or you actually understand, right? Right. So comprehension comes from the word comprehend. I want you to write that down, right? Because I can't write in full here, right? So it comes from comprehend, right? Comprehend. I hope it makes sense. It comes from comprehend, right? So we are comprehending now. The word comprehend has a synonym in English, right? So it's up to us to understand what is the synonym of comprehend in order for us to understand what comprehension is. How do you think when you are going to understand comprehension or answering something that you don't even know what you are answering? They say comprehension and you start answering, but you don't even know what comprehension is. So we have to start from the root of the tree before we can actually get to the branches. Sharp. So we're not just going to chop it. We're going to start from the roots. You understand what I'm saying? So that we can get all the vitamins or the nutrition that comes with this thing. Right? So this is your root to a distinction. Now, a comprehension, you comprehending. What is to comprehend? According to me, to comprehend is to understand. So comprehending means to understand. When they say comprehend, it means understand. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That must tell you that now, comprehension means understanding. So another word for comprehension is understanding. What are you understanding? We are going deeper into it. What are you understanding? All right. What are you understanding? The text that they gave you. You're understanding this thing, which is the text that they gave you. Right? You are understanding the text that they gave you. Right. We are moving right along. We still here by understanding. So when it comes to the word understanding, okay, this is why people get 0 for English. Understanding is not a one-way thingy or a one-way route or a one takes all. I don't know how to say this one. Understanding, really, guys, understanding really is not a thing that you can just say, I understand this thing by just reading it. Listen, when it comes to English comprehension, actually, no, when it comes to English as a whole, I'm going to teach you something. When you're understanding, there's 2 forms of understanding. Okay, sharp. We have a coin. Heads. This side there's a head. That's the other side there's tail. Right? There's 2 sides to a coin, which means there's 2 sides to a story. So how you understand a story is not how I will understand a story. Which means everything has 2 or more understandings in the world. I hope I'm making sense. Right? So same thing applies with comprehension. So yeah, I'm not gonna use a coin. I'm not going to use a coin to explain this one, but I'm going to use shoes, a boot, right? So every time you're answering a comprehension, you must understand that you must wear 2 black boots. Aha, right. 2 black boots. Guys, I'm the best tutor in South Africa. If anybody wants to argue, then I really don't know. They must come and tell me. I mean, yeah, but asikho lapho. Anyways, ariyo mo. So I'm trying to write, Okay, 2 black boots. Now listen to me. Immediately when you start doing comprehension, just know that you are putting on 2 black boots. But these 2 black boots have a name. So I don't know this side. I'll just say it's the left hand side because when you're looking at the screen, that's how it is portrayed. And this side is the right hand side. I want us to call it that R. Yeah, it's the right and then it's the left boot. Right? So now we're going deeper into it. Alright. So now with these 2 black boots, what is actually happening there, right? What is actually happening there is that now, on your left hand boot, I want you to say R as well, right? I want you to say R, right? And on this right hand boot, you must say T. T, right? Alright. Now listen up to me very, very carefully. After doing that, you can go now and scratch out this R, right? You scratch it out. You're not going to do this during examination. This is just me teaching you, You're scratching it out now. So basically this is our boot. The other boot is called R, the other one is called T. Doesn't matter which side it's at. It doesn't matter. What matters is the logic. What does this R stand for? My fellow descendants. This R stands for, how will I say this one? This R stands for a referral question. Alright, it stands for a referral question, right? A referral question. Another word for a referral question, in the previous tutorial I told you that it's bore you. Bore you. Yes, I'm gonna bore you. So bore you means based. B stands for based. O stands for on. Y stands for your understanding. Based on your own understanding. Right? Based on your understanding or based on your own understanding. Right? That's a referral question. Now there's a problem where people will say, we will see a question that says refer. Then the person will say it's a referral. No, why am I even saying that? Because I just have to go into it. Why don't I just tap into it and see if I can find it? I can't find it. There's a problem. I'll just show it to you later on. There's a problem whereby a person they will say refer to paragraph 3, and then a person just starts jumping, says, okay, proceed, it's a referral question. No, we don't do that. No, that's not a referral question, right? So I'm going to describe the referral question into detail, but just write this down. Then on the side, just know that this is the technical boot. You can also say technical, or you can say slash structural boot, right? Structural boot, right? I'm just going to explain this further. Don't worry about them. Alright, now that you wrote these down, let's go deeper into it now. I don't want to waste time. I think we still have time. I'm trying to make this one an hour long. Alright, so now let's look at it properly. Let's start with the readers, the referral question boot, or you can also call it a BOYU boot, right? A BOYU boot, right? What does it do? And then we also have a technical. We call it a technical or a structural. Yeah? And what does it do? Right? So it take when we're looking at a referral boot, right? Referral means refer, right? So it means when we're referring, guys, it means that it's a question whereby we have to read and understand the story exactly as how it was written. For example, if we're talking about Tom or Bob the builder, right? Any question that they ask about, maybe they might ask you, how old is Bob? When did he start driving these trucks? When did he start building? Where was he living? Those are referral questions because now you are referring to what you've read. You are actually referring to what you've read. So now, listen. Why do I say it's also called a POU and question? It's very, very important, this POU as well. That's why I say don't omit it or leave it out, because now POU means based on your own understanding. So there's also questions whereby they will ask you questions, but not directly about the text, but it's actually a question that needs you to twist your brain a little bit. So for example, they can just say, if you're in Bob's shoes in this type of a situation, what would you do? That is still a referral question, or that is still a based on your own understanding question, because it reflects, or it dwells on what you've read and what your brain has picked up, on what your brain can actually use, right? And what your brain can actually use to actually answer that question. Hope I'm making sense. So for that, yeah. All right. So I hope I'm making sense, right? So just know that a referral question, it's a question that it's a copy and paste. I usually tell my learners that it's a copy and paste. It's a CP, right? Because you just read, then they say, how old is Bob? You just saw it there in the first line. They said Bob is 94 years old. So it's a copy and paste, right? And then others is just that it's based on your own understanding, right? So basically, Bob was beating up his wife, or Bob was fighting his wife, or Bob was, I don't know, man. And then they ask you, if you're his wife, would you take him to the police station, and why? Give reasons for your answer. 3 marks, right? Those type of questions tell you very, very well that this is a based on your own. It's a question that doesn't even need you to think deeply. It's an opinion. What can I say? It's an opinionated, whatever you guys call it. Yo, is this word so difficult? Opinionated. Yes, it's an opinionated, kind of like a question. I hope I'm making sense. All right. Now siyakwengadla manje. We're going back. We're going to the one that makes people get 0. Now you're gonna pay careful attention to me. I said this is the first boot, this is the second boot. Previously now. Now listen to me very, very carefully. What's happening now is that these two boots represent two understandings. What am I trying to tell you when I'm teaching you all of this is that every time you enter into an examination session and you're writing a comprehension or you're writing a poem or whatsoever, there is two understandings that the marker or the examiner is looking for, right? He's looking for one, which is the referral perspective, which means this is your own perspective, right? As a reader, right? It's the reader's boot. It's your own perspective, right? It's the perspective of the person who's reading. That's the first perspective. So you can actually put brackets here and say this is the reader's boot as well, because it's a reader's perspective. You are answering this based on yourself as a reader, based on a reader's point of view or perspective. I hope I'm making sense. But now when you come into a technical question, you are changing now. You are no longer being the reader. The marker or the examiner wants to see whether you understand the rules of English. So this time you are changing and you are becoming a what? You are becoming a writer. You are advocating for the writer, right? So in technical questions or structural questions, now you are becoming the writer. You are the writer now. Okay? You are the writer. You are the writer now, right? Which means whatever was happening based on would Bob do this, where now you don't look at it anymore. You have now transformed and now you've now transformed and you actually now becoming the writer. I hope I'm making sense. So you don't consider what was happening when you're still the reader. So basically, this is what I'm trying to tell you as okay pro is that when you enter here, you are entering here with two perspectives. The main reason why people fail English is that they enter with one perspective, which is the reader's perspective, which is what you were taught in primary. Your whole life from primary school, the teachers were teaching you the reader's perspective, right? Whereby I say, why did Bob hit his wife? Those are the type of questions that you are used to. And those are the type of questions that you'd actually find in English file, right? But now when you're in English home language, you have to show them that this is your home language. So you're now becoming also the writer. You have to account or advocate for the writer's usage of things. I hope I'm making sense. I've said this before, I think, in your tutorial, right? So yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys a clearer understanding so that people don't be asking me questions that are clear. Okay. Now, in a technical question, I'm giving you guys cheat codes here. Nah? These are cheat codes. All right. Now that you know that you are becoming the writer, you are becoming the reader. In a technical question, guys, a technical question, basically, I'm just going to define a technical question is basically a question whereby you have to talk about the structure of the text as the writer, or you have to advocate for the writer. A referral question, or a reader's type question, or a BOU question is a question that now you are actually now the reader. You're answering it from a reader's perspective. It's a copy and paste question whereby you just have to refer to the text exactly as it is and answer based on what you were given. Unlike the technical question whereby you have to now answer behind the scenes. You're actually going behind the scenes when we're dealing with a technical question or a structural question. All right. All right. So now there's a cheat code. How do you see technical questions? I'm just gonna give you a cheat code. How do you see a technical question? Technical question. In order for you to see a technical question, it's very, very easy. One, it always says account for. Okay, let me not say always because people are going to kill me out there. Examiners and markers that watch this thing are going to kill me. So I'm just going to say it's okay. It usually has account for. Once you see account for, you must start thinking that there might be a technical question here because I told you are advocating and accounting. Hey, Mara, let's leave it. Okay. So account for, number one, discuss. Once you see account for, once you see discuss, there's a technical question somewhere there. You understand what I'm saying? All right. And then a reader's type of a question, this is what they will say. Some of them, you know them, they'll say, who did this? Why did they do this? Do you understand what I'm saying? But the main one that they like using for this one is comment. Ne? So once you see comment, and then when you answer based on technical questions, there's something wrong. Ne? Now we're gonna go deeper into it. Ne? Sharp. We're gonna go deeper into it. This is what I like about myself, is that I go deeper into everything that I'm saying. Why am I saying that every time? Let's start with the reader's part. Ne? The reader's boot, which is the referral question. I'm saying to you that in order for you to spot a referral question quickly during examination, right, you're going to see the word comment. I'm not saying it's only those words that show that it's a referral question, but it's usually this, right? Right? Okay, sharp. So comment. Why comment? What is to comment, first of all? We have Facebook profiles, we have Instagram accounts, we have TikTok channels, we have YouTube channels, right? When I'm saying to you as SCI Masters Fam that you should comment, it means that I'm saying that you must give an opinion about these videos that I'm making. Right? I'm saying that you must give an opinion about these videos that I'm making. Am I making sense? So even on Facebook, if I posted a picture and somebody decides to say, yo, you look so ugly, yo, you look like this, you look like this, you look like this. You understand? It's a comment. What does that tell you? A comment is an opinion. Let's go with it. A comment is an opinion. It's an opinion, right? It's an opinion, right? So what did I say earlier on when I was describing the referral questions and based on your understanding questions? I'm saying that they'll say if you were John's wife or Bob the Builder's wife, what did you do if he was hitting you every night? Am I looking for a fact or an opinion? Obviously, whatever answer the learner is going to give me is an opinion, right? Am I making sense? It's an opinion. So basically now, commenting means now you're giving an opinionated view. That's why every time I'm tutoring somebody and somebody gets a comment question wrong, once the question says comment, it's 3 marks. I want us to create something. Ne? Every time you see comment, I want you to say F, put F next to it with a pencil and say 3 marks. You can't get that one wrong. Why? Because every time you're answering a question that says comment, I'm going to show you. Every time you're answering a question that says comment, basically what they want you to do is to give your opinion, then support it. That's it. Alright? Give your opinion, then support it. Okay, I'll get him arrested because being abused is actually not right. It's not supposed to, according to the Human Rights, whatever Violation Act, whatever. That's it. 3 marks. You gave your opinion and then you supported. You gave valid reasons. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying every time you see comment, it's 3 marks because it's not a fact. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right, let's go. The technical question now. That's why I'm saying this is info that I didn't give the other group, right? I'm not gonna dwell into a lot of things. I'm just gonna dwell into what is important in the cheat codes. Ne? There's a document that I'm going to attach on the video. You guys said, hey, you don't have it, so I'm going to attach it again as per link, and then you guys download those notes and then you enjoy. Right? You enjoy the tutorial and you enjoy everything. I'm not gonna write everything down. Ne? Sharp. So in a technical question, guys, or structural question, this is so easy. Handwriting. Alright. What happens now? In a technical question, I'm saying to you that the main one is discussed. Ne? They don't like using account for because they know that Kpro has already taught them that account for is, so they try and hide it a little bit. So usually they use discuss, but also account for work. So I'm gonna start with discuss. Ne? It discuss bafethu. It discuss. It means to discuss. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna attach 2 documents as well. Ne? I'm seeing why. Discuss. To discuss, guys. Ne? To discuss is actually to give facts. I want you to write that down, right? To discuss is to give facts. Ne? To discuss is just to give facts. You can go do your research or whatsoever. You are giving facts, right? To comment, you are giving an opinion. Can you see that it's the opposite? Ne? Sure. So what's going on there? What's going on now is that now when you're discussing they are basically saying give facts. Why is it always in a technical question? Lalela. A technical question is a structural question, right? Structure has guidelines. Okay, let's talk about a car. If a car, I'm saying a car, in order to start a car, you must put on start the car, then press your clutch, then put it on gear 1, and then daily clutch kancane kancane or whatsoever, or leave the clutch going bit by bit, ne? Right? So it's an instruction, right? It's a structure. If I say a car has 4 wheels, right, and these wheels are used to make the car move from one place to another, right? It's a structural thing, right? It cannot be changed. I can't give my own opinion and say, no, those wheels are there to decorate. No, no. No one can give an opinion about the wheels because it's a structural thing. It's something that has a mandate. It's there. It has been given certain guidelines or certain mandates or certain, I don't know what I can say, certain instructions or structures that you should follow. I hope I'm making sense. So if I say a car has 4 wheels, you are told that you know that a car has 4 wheels for movement, not for decoration, right? So it's the same thing with a technical question. A technical question, what's happening here is that now it's a structural question. You are told that a full stop is used to stop a sentence. You can't come and tell me that a full stop comes to continue a sentence. In there, never. You guys, I know you guys are full of, you guys have jokes when you're writing examinations, especially trappers and stuff. And you understand what I'm saying? You have jokes. You can't just say all these guidelines, guys. You are told that a comma creates a pause or it lists items, right? That's what I like about technical questions or structural questions. Technical questions are just, you can cram them because it's all about punctuation, figurative language, diction. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rhetorical questions. So it's all about that, right? So you can actually cram them. You can actually cram them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you are told that an introduction does this. This one does this. This one does this. This one does this. So all you have to do is just you have to know what this one does, and therefore when they say discuss, you say this one is not, it is used to do this and this and this and this and this. It's very, very easy, right? So in discussing, giving facts, and technical questions value are all about facts because when you're talking about structure, we are talking about things that have already been made. It's rules that have been set in English. I hope I'm making sense. Ne? I hope I'm making sense. Ibhasi, it's a mode of transport. Akusiyo into yokuhlobisa emgwaqweni. I hope I'm making sense. You can't just come and say a car has been made to decorate. Oh, no. There's guidelines that have been spoken. The guidelines are going to be attached under this video. I promise you guys, so that you guys can actually understand what's going on, right? So that's what I wanted you guys to know, right? I hope so far. Samba kahle, samba na. All right. Now that you know that there's the R boot and the T boot, right? And I just explained them, which is seven zaranja. And then, so we have to go deeper now, should I say. There's nothing that you can say about the referral question and BOU questions or a reader's boot or whatsoever. It's like that. You learned about it since primary until now. It's just straight to the point. You copy and paste or whatever you're asked to just answer based on your opinion, right? But what we usually dwell on technical questions because people don't actually understand what are technical questions. So, technical questions, now we know what they are, right? So, first, people will want to know, okay, how do we spot technical questions? I told you they always have discussed, right? But now, there's components of technical questions that you have to know, right? The components are diction, figurative language. I'm just gonna make an example of a few. I'm not gonna write all of them down. I have a document for that, right? Components of technical questions, right? So I did this in the previous video. So if you want to know more about these, you can actually check out the previous video of English Comprehension Part 1, right? So but I'm just gonna show you an example. So we have maybe for example, let me use rhetorical question as an example, right? Rhetorical question, RQ. Okay, guys. A rhetorical question. A rhetorical question. We know what it is. Okay, now listen to me, guys. They don't want you to tell them what a rhetorical question is. They want to know the effect of a rhetorical question. So we know a rhetorical question is a question that doesn't have an answer. But what do they want? They want you to tell them what does it do in the context of a comprehension? A rhetorical question, it keeps the reader engaged, so it creates engagement. You can say it creates engagement. Please write that down. I can't write that down, it's too long. It creates engagement. It attracts the attention of the reader, right? It manipulates the reader's emotions. That's a rhetorical question, right? So somebody would say, okay, if I know what a rhetorical question does, how does that help me to answer an English question? Guys, see as a lap. Relax. Let's do another one, for example. Maybe which one do they like asking about? Yeah, maybe punctuation, for example. Maybe punctuation as a whole. You have to know all punctuation marks and know what do they do, right? Then you'd also have figurative language, but the figurative language that they usually talk about is irony, right? In a comprehension, they talk about irony. So in a figurative language, you know, almost it creates engagement. It manipulates the reader's emotion. It captures the reader's attention. It creates amusement. Figurative language. That's it, right? Usually it's irony, right? So with this knowledge, right, you can actually answer technical questions that actually have 3 marks, right? Sometimes there's also what we call titles. You're gonna see it on the document under the link. There's also title, right? There's also title. You have to know what a title does. The functions or the effects of a title. Conclusion as well. You must know what a conclusion does. Then also introduction. Know what an introduction does. Do you understand what I'm saying? Usually this you find it in the first tutorial, but what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to try and dwell, because I know people will tell me that they don't understand. I don't want people that tell me that they don't understand and stuff. So I'm just going to try and find a paper and see if I can help you guys out. So I think I'm going to use an English. It's an English. It's an English November paper, if I can find it. It's an English November paper, but I think it's 2015. Oh no, it's fall. Oh my god, no. I can't be using fall. Let's use the 2019 paper as per usual. If I have the 2019 paper or 2018 paper, any that I can get my hands on, because alright. Alright. Cool. So here we go. It's 2019. I've used this before, but I'm gonna use it again for those that don't understand. So here is your comprehension, right? Remember, we have part 1 of this tutorial, so I'm not gonna start and tell you that first thing you do is you do this, you do this, you do this. Go to the first. I advise you to go to the first tutorial first. You watch it, then you come to this one in order for you to broaden up your understanding, right? Because here it's just all about going deeper for those that didn't understand, right? So now what's going on now is that we'll have a question. Here we go. Perfect. What is the function of the rhetorical question in the byline rise of the crash bite? So where does this question take you now? This question takes you back to what we were just doing right now, right? RQ, which is a rhetorical question, it creates what? It creates engagement. It captures the attention of the reader and stuff, right? That's what it does, right? That's what it does. So immediately once they ask this, it's a technical question. You are now the writer here in this, so which means you are using the T boot, which is your boot on the left, to answer this one, right? So as well, other questions such as that, we're going to look for another question. Discuss the apparent contradiction, right? Contradiction is contrast. Contrast, hey, okay, contradiction is contrast. I have to talk about that. Contradiction is contrast, and then contrast is actually, we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to this one. Let's look at the paper. Contradiction is contrast. Contrast is a figurative language. Hence, I spoke about figurative language. That all figurative languages, they create amusement, they create engagement, they manipulate the readers, and so when they say discuss the apparent contradiction regarding using password protection in paragraph 2, they want to know, give facts about the contrast. It's so simple. You just have to say one sentence. The contrast in this whatever it creates engagement or it creates amusement. 2 marks. unless if somebody answers it differently, right? But this one is a two-way question whereby you can also use your reader's knowledge and answer it from a reader's point of view because it has 2 marks. But I would have used the technical point of view, right? Discuss the importance of valuable intelligence in the okay. Valuable intelligence. Now, when they say valuable intelligence, once you see them quoting something like this, if you watched the previous tutorial, once you see them quoting something like this, they are asking about diction. So sometimes they won't say discuss the importance of diction. Yeah, they quote something. So yeah, they're asking you about diction. Yeah? In the context of paragraph 3. Yeah? So they want to know what is the effect of diction in this whole thing in paragraph 3, right? So now you must know what diction is a technical question. Yeah? What does diction do? Remember, diction is vocabulary or choice of words. What does diction do? Diction does what? It creates what? Most of them create engagement. So it captures the attention of the reader. That's number one. That's diction. Then it keeps the reader engaged. It keeps the reader engaged. So that's diction. So once you answer that, then you're good to go, right? So, right. Okay. Comment. 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 These are one of the questions that I was talking about. That when you're commenting, right? When you're commenting, you know that commenting is actually an opinion. It's an opinionated thing, right? When you comment, you opinionate. Opinionate. So you know what to do there. There is another comment again. These ones just need you to read and then you answer. Read, answer, read, answer. Understand? Suggest reasons for the writer's inclusion of your side of the aside. You heard me. Line 18. Okay, that's a technical question as well, right? So I'm just giving you guys an idea on how to use our technical questions to answer questions as well. When I'm saying this, what we call a referral question, I'm actually talking about. Let's go down. When I'm saying there's a referral or a reader's boot, I'm talking about lines such as this. Explain why human beings could be viewed as oh my god, Neslim. Explain why human beings could be viewed as deficient. Right? That's not a technical question. Here you are a reader. You are the reader, so you must answer based on your understanding as the reader. Unlike the one that will say discuss the importance of in the context of. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, now you are turning into the writer. So every time you're answering a comprehension, guys, what you must understand is that you are switching. You're switching lanes. You're switching lanes. You're switching lanes. You're switching lanes. Kanjalo kanjalo. I hope I'm making sense. Right? So in order for you to get notes on on these things in full, like I understand that most people won't understand. Bazothi ngikhe Zulu. I just did. Understand? So in order for you guys to understand these things, which properties of a technical question whatsoever, I have notes that I have in the comments, not comment section, but in the description. Right, I'll write that it's notes about this lesson, where you can actually read or what a rhetorical question does, what personal pronouns do, what title does, conclusion does, effects of rhetorical questions, effects of diction, effects of figurative language, right? To make everything easy, right? So that we don't waste time. I don't want this tutorial to be very, very long, right? Because there's just this message that I want to pass on. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk about, very, very important that I didn't include in the previous tutorial. I am who I think I am. Alright, so there's what we call a comparison question now. Now I taught you twice. I taught you technical and referral question. So I'll never go back to that ever again. Right? Unless if the curriculum changes. Unless if we don't use caps anymore. Guys, you guys are gonna get distinctions for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. If you actually, and guys, don't hesitate to actually repeat the tutorial over and over again. Download it into your phone if you have to. Repeat it over and over again. Play it in front of your classmates. Create a study group, and just create a study group one day and just say, today we are watching Kpro's tutorial about this and we are studying based on that. After watching that tutorial, we are doing exercises and stuff. And then do what? You contact Kpro on WhatsApp and say, yo bro, we actually studying out here. we used your tutorial, this one, and we're doing this, and this question doesn't make sense. How do you go about it? Kpro will answer. Kpro will answer, right? Kpro will definitely answer, right? So it's a comparison question. That's what we are doing right now, right? So guys, do study groups a lot, and actually work with YouTube. I'm telling you, YouTube will get you a distinction. Formulate that. You understand? Remove all distractors that you have in your life and actually focus on what you're doing so that you can get better marks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Channel yourself with friends that actually are doing the same thing or are working towards the same goal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that you guys can actually achieve what you guys are supposed to achieve. Understand what I'm saying? I know I take time to respond, but I've actually done something now. There's a number that you can contact if you want tutoring. It's in the description. Then my number is 081-448-5811. For those that have questions, want to talk about school things or whatsoever, then you can actually hit me up there. Don't hit me up for tutoring. There's a number that I put there. That's my agent or consultant that you can talk to regarding tutoring. Then they'll give you the rates and whatsoever. I only wanted to talk to learners straight about these or all these things. I hope I'm making sense. All right. So a comparison question. I never taught this before, right? But I always knew it. So a comparison question is the last question. I want you to write down notes now. A comparison question is the last question of an English HL Comprehension paper. It usually has 4 marks. 4. Right? 4 marks. Okay. So, in a comparison question, this is what they're going to ask you. Né? I'm going to look for it. I'm going to look for it. I found it. Okay. So first, let's agree on one thing. In each and every English paper, we have text A and text B. Text B being what? An animation or a cartoon, and then text A being the text, right? So this is now what I call the comparison question right here. Nah, it's 4 marks. Right? So as you can see, they will ask you, does text B support views expressed in paragraph 4 of text A, or does text A support views expressed in paragraph 4 of text A or whatsoever, right? So now you must just know, ne? This is what I call a matching question. Ne? Matching. It's a matching question. Ne? So they want you to match a certain line in text A with a certain frame in text B. Alright. I know other people don't understand, so I'm going to go a bit deeper. Now watch how we go about this. In a comparison question, if they say show that text A supports text B, right? Text A, let's write A here. Ne? A is written in letters only, no picture. B is frames. A cartoon and this text, they are both comprehensions. Actually, everything in English is a comprehension. What varies now is the type of comprehension it is. A cartoon, that's a story for another day. A cartoon is a comprehension, but it's a picture comprehension. It tells a story via pictures, unlike this one that is a text. It's the same thing. So what must you do when they ask you this type of a question? You go into text A, you look for a sentence. You code that sentence and match it. Look for a sentence that can actually match with a certain frame. So for example, if it's about fees must fall, and the writer in text A said, learners have now turned to protest in order to fight for their rights. And then in text B, you see that in frame 2, there's learners protesting, doing toi there with their boards. You say, you quote that thing that says learners have turned into this and this and this for fees. And after quoting that, you say this matches with frame 2 in text B, whereby we can see learners having boards on top of their heads and actually marching towards the university, which shows that now a text A and text B have somehow a link. Ne? 2 marks. Right? You find another sentence in text A, you quote it and you match it to another frame. Let's just say now you say cops have now turned to violence towards the learners that are protesting. Right? Towards the learners that are protesting. You quote that sentence exactly as it is and you say, in text A, this is what is happening. You quote it and you say, this matches with frame 5. Where you can see in frame 5 that a lot of children now are actually on the floor with blood on their throats, showing that there's a usage of rubber bullets on them. 4 marks. Is it difficult? I don't think so. Everyone can score those 4 marks. I don't understand why people would actually lose 4 marks in that question. It's very, very easy. So from now on, you know what to do when it comes to this question. I know the class of 2022 is going to be like, but K-Pro is so unfair because he never taught us this and stuff and we wrote the exam without this. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just that when I made that tutorial, I never thought that it would be that big. Understand what I'm saying? So this is what I wanted you guys to actually dwell on and actually understand, right? So guys, overall, the English comprehension carries 30 marks, right? It's up to you to get at least 28 and above. It's very, very easy. With the documents that I'm going to be sending, the first document is the one that tells you about technical question components, which is diction, punctuation, and whatsoever. And then the second document is the punctuation document, which is all the punctuation marks that you can ever. Because what annoys me is like people like, hey, where's the document? I can't find it and stuff. You understand? So I'm giving it to you guys. You understand? So the second document is punctuation. I'm gonna label them. The second one it's punctuation. And then the third one is whereby it teaches you what comment means, what discuss means, what assess means, what explain means, what account for means, and whatsoever. Right? Account for means to advocate, which means why? Why did they do it? Why did they do it? Why did they do it? All right. So that's it. Okay, I'm gonna talk about one last thing, but it's unlikely, it's unusual for them to do this, ne? If they ask you about effectiveness, ne? Guys, I say to you that technical questions, you might just use common sense. Technical questions, they don't care whether you know what a rhetorical question is. They want to know what does it do, what effect does it have. So effectiveness is asking you, ne, if this thing has followed its role. So if a rhetorical question must create amusement and keep the reader engaged, so if they ask you about the effectiveness of it, then they're asking you to check if did it create amusement, did it create engagement, right? So you go and check, you're like, okay, no, it did not create engagement, it did not create amusement, therefore it's not fit to be a rhetorical question, right? Full stop, for example. Comment on discuss the effectiveness or how effective is the full stop, or they'll say discuss the effectiveness of the full stop. You'll say the full stop, number one, is not effective because it does not create a pause. It does not stop the sentence. Instead, it creates a pause, which is done by the comma. Right? Something like that. Question mark, is it effective? They'll ask you if is it effective. You just have to know that, okay, a question mark must be put at the end of a question. So if it's not at the end of the question, then that question mark is not effective. It's like a title. A title must give you an overview of what you are about to read, or a title must give you, it must be the identity. A title is actually the identity of whatever you're going to read. So if the title fails to give whatever you're going to read an identity, or it fails to link with whatever you are reading, then it's not a title, or it is not effective. Let's not say it's not a title, because it's a title because it's there, but it is not effective. It's like a conclusion. You see, now I'm giving you guys now the things that you guys are supposed to read. A conclusion. Sorry for that. A conclusion must summarize the main points of the text. If it's not summarizing the main points of the text, then it's not effective. So that's where effectiveness comes from. They want to see if you know the roles of all these things. Understand? Then you can support. So it's still a technical question, but brought via vice versa. I hope I'm making sense. Alright, guys. I've decided that This year, um, there's going to be 3 cross nights for English. There's going to be 3 cross nights for English, so there's gonna be, okay, there's 6 actually. 3 for English HL, 3 for English HL, right? Then other subjects will be communicated as well, right? These cross nights are happening in October, right? It's 100 rand per paper, which means 100 rand for paper 1, 100 rand for paper 2, 100 rand for paper 3. It depends on which subject you struggle with, right? These cross nights are happening towards the end of the day, so after your prelims, after you saw your prelim marks, right?